Thank you for coming this evening. I'll make a motion to reconvene to open session at 7:07, second by member Nolenberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are now back on. Okay, as I was mentioning earlier, our meeting this evening is being digitally recorded by our intrepid folks at Dragonflix, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you very much. Next we have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Member Nolenberg.
Please rise and face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like to announce that no action was taken in closed session. And next item up, we do not have, we do.
Is Mr. Gould on that?
He's got
Okay, so technically speaking, we do not have any special recognition or presentation under this item number. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Public comment on agendized and non-agendized items. I do believe that we have one. And it's from Mr. Ridley. Good evening.
Good evening.
I haven't spoken from this podium for about 9 years. And it saddens me a little bit to be here tonight to publicly announce my resignation from the board. It's been a great privilege to serve the district, and I've enjoyed it greatly. And I just wanted to express my appreciation and acknowledgement of the hard work you're all putting in. You know, I think in some ways there's never a good time, but for me the time has come. And I do reflect on some of the situation that the district is in now, having passed its bond, having its construction well underway, and having, I think, very strong and capable leadership at the helm of our district. So with that note, I'm sad to leave you, but I wish you every continued success, and I know you guys and ladies will all do a great job. Thank you.
All right. And I'm not sure if I can speak in this part, but I just also want to say on behalf of the board and the staff, again, and the district and this community, thank you for your dedication these past 9 years. But who's counting, because it's been longer than that, with among other things. So personally, I learned a lot in my brief time here. So and you know, from you. So thank you for everything, and thank you for always supporting the district.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. So next, let's go ahead and let's move on to the next item, which are our district updates. First up, we have business services. Ms. Sora.
Good evening. I'll give you a quick update on the bond. So for the high school, phase 1 and 2 of the 2-story classroom building, A and B, the masonry installation is complete, and C is approximately 90% complete. The gas work for the site will be complete by the end of July, with the new gas meter being installed. We're expecting August 9th to be able to resume gas service to the site. Concrete paving at the campus is underway. Phase 1B, which is the pool, lockers, locker building and fields, the plans are currently in design stage, and we're hoping that LPA will be able to get that back to us very shortly and submit it to DSA by the end of the year. For Longden Elementary, it's the new administration building, the media center, and the modernization of classrooms. The plans have been approved by DSA, and the interim housing is almost complete. That's in the back by the Little League field. There will be 4 interim housing units there. And they're continuing to work on the final bid for the project. For Emperor, Building D is 4 classrooms is complete and it's fully occupied. Building C is close to completion and will be ready before school starts. And the administration building is also close to completion and will be ready for the beginning of the school year.
Excellent news. Okay. are working for continuing on that path for us. Next, we have Ed Services, Dr. Francisini.
Thank you. So we are gearing up for the start of school in August, as well as winding down our summer professional learning opportunities. We have a few more weeks of that. And in addition, we wanted to share some good news with the board that under the leadership of Diane Chang Ho, our teacher on special assignment, that we have earned an Arts for All Advancement grant to the tune of $17,800. And so that is for 1 year. And she is going to be working with teachers, integrating art and math into our Eureka curriculum over this next school year. Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, next we have Personnel Services, Mr. Kuda.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Just want to share with you a quick update. We have, with the exception of 2 psychologists, we will be fully staffed. We're working on a psychologist at this point, but it's been very busy just going through the hiring process right now. So we are hopeful that that will be wrapped up by next week.
Okay, great to hear. Can't believe school's going to be around the corner very soon. Okay. All right, next we have our bargaining unit comments. First we have the Temple City Education Association. Ms. Moore. But good evening, how are you? All right. Next we have CSEA 105, Ms. Penn. Okay. And next we have CSEA 823, Mr. Niles. Okay. All right. Now we're ready to move on to our board member comments. Let's begin with our student board member, Ms. Jessica Wong.
Hello. So since school's out, there hasn't been a lot of things going on. ASB went to CATA leadership camp about, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, and I wasn't able to go, but from what all my friends said, it was amazing. And our ASB retreat is actually in 2 weeks. And I think summer school is still going on at the high school. And I think that's about it. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, now we're going to move on to our board member comments. I think we should start over with Member Pomeroy.
Okay. Let me see briefly. I enjoyed the Kiwanis barbecue. It was a fun event. Appreciated some district staff in there. Ms. Chen was there, and others. It was a nice turnout at Oak, and I appreciate the district, allowing that space to be used. I believe that the ticket said it was the 48th annual barbecue.
40s.
Mr. Nolenberg can mention how many he's been to, he wishes to. The other experience I had recently was taking my daughter up to music camp, Bella's music camp, up in the Angeles Forest, and as always, I'm so impressed with how many of our students are there as attendees, campers, counselors, junior counselors, and also staff. So it reminds me that Temple City really is a focus of music education in the whole area, and we should be very thankful for that. And so I'll start briefly about Mr. Ridley. I'm sure we'll all say a couple of things. I hope we do. Mr. Ridley, I just want to thank you for your many years of service. And when you join a school board, you want people around you that you're, number one, going to get along with, that you'll be able to work well with, and that look at things with a critical eye. But what I didn't quite expect was how valuable it would be to have your financial expertise. And there was maybe once or twice when I got an extremely thick packet of financial documents, and I looked as much as I could, but then back in my head I said, but Bob will be there, so it'll be okay. So we'll work out later, perhaps I can put you on my staff. I don't have a staff yet, maybe I can put you on my staff to advise me on financial matters. But anyway, I look forward to you still being active with us. Thank you very much for all of your years of service. A great model for me personally. I appreciate it. It's nice to see Tessie here too. Good evening. And I think I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Member Nolenberg.
Yes, I'd also like to echo the sentiments from Mr. Ridley, and especially the valuable services running on financial and budgets. and the other things in closed session. And hopefully he'll be able to stand at the podium or something and give us some advice on some of the financial stuff that's coming up, so that we can navigate that successfully as we have done in the past. I also went to the Kiwanis Club meeting, barbecue, and saw an awful lot of participants there. And the Kiwanises are the ones who recognize our students on a regular basis, and their pictures appear in one of the local papers. And so they've done a great job to help support the school system. Also, and the school, I think, helped as a co-sponsor. I'm not sure if we were a co-sponsor or not, but Relay of Life, we were a co-sponsor along with the city, and did exceptionally well at the high school. Good turnout, and they're still collecting money for cancer for the Relay of Life. So if you know anybody that's on one of the teams or that, and you want to donate some money, feel free to contact them. There's not that much time left, but they still will take money. And also coming up this Thursday is going to be a oversight, or a school foundation meeting to be held this Thursday. And that's it.
All right, thank you very much, Member Nolan. Member Marston.
Someone's next to me still. Well, first of all, just in advance, welcome back to all the students, since school's starting here pretty soon. Seems like the summer just began not long ago, and here it is, it's just about over. So sorry, but it's going to be a great year. We're all going to have a great time, and welcome to the new teachers to our district and new staff, and obviously welcome back to all of our returning teachers and staff. Looking forward to meeting more of you. Since I've been on the board for seven months or so, I've gotten around outside of Emperor to other sites to meet new people, and I'm still meeting new people. It's like every day I'm meeting more and more people. And one of my weaknesses is names, so if I don't remember your name, I'd be like, hey, I'll ask you again. Relay for Life. I was so thankful that the school district allowed the Cancer Society to use the high school for their 24-hour event. I was talked into being the logistics chair this year for the Relay for Life event, and I was able to go to Tony, our maintenance director, and ask him for help. And before I could even finish my sentences, he was already out there digging trenches for us and helping out, get more power capabilities and logistics there on the stadium. And it was never, well, I don't know. It was always yes, yes, can do. No matter what we asked of Tony, it was always can do, can do. And Tony, I really appreciate it. Your people just knocked it out of the park. And the community noticed everything that you've been doing there, and the work that was done for the events. And they really appreciated that the school district would step out and make that statement that you did. And then, of course, the custodians there at the high school, Cy and his group, they were there for 24 hours straight, helping us out, almost anticipating what we needed. And, I promised Cy that I wouldn't overwork the custodians, that we would do the things, necessary to take tables back and chairs. But, my God, 1 o'clock in the morning, the custodians are out there trying to put the chairs away. And, I'm like, Cy, I promised Cy I wouldn't make you work. But they insisted on doing it, and they just had, a very positive can-do attitude about everything. And they were very happy to see that they were making a difference for the community. And the community, again, saw that they were there working and very willing to do whatever was necessary. So I just thank you to Kathy and the rest of the administration for letting it happen, and then again for Cy for making it happen. And then Bob. It wasn't so long ago I was laying in the mud fixing band trailers at 4 o'clock in the morning, and that was my job. Making sure the band trailers were able to pull the equipment for the band outings, and they had to work, and there was electrical problems, and it was always, we're pulling out at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was there at 4, filling up tires and getting the electrical ready and hooking up to my trucks and stuff, and Bob kind of helped me get out of the mud and take on more responsibilities throughout different levels of district. And Tessie, just as instrumental. And now, look where I'm at. You know, so I appreciate your mentorship, Bob, and always being able to go to you with questions and advice, not just financials, but just business and how it affects, the school district. And you had a long run here, and you really went out of your way to do good things for the district, and you always cared about the students, and I always appreciate that. And Tessie too, always there for the students, helping out with the band and wherever she could help. So thank you to both of you, really. But I'm going to miss you, but I know your phone number. And I parked my truck right across from your house many times during the school year to walk Dylan to school, so I'll see you. But thank you very much, I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much, Member Morrison. I want to thank my fellow board members for being incredibly active out there in the community. I think it means a lot to us and to the school district. I do apologize. I was unable to make it to neither relay nor the Kiwanis barbecue. My schedule kind of interrupted that this year, unfortunately. But I'm so glad to hear all the great things that have been going on, and the traditions that we have in the city continue on, and I hope to make it next year. Bob, I'm not going to say goodbye because I don't know that this is. I think, the experiences that I will share my own personally when I first stepped onto this role 3 years ago, really depended so much on yours and some of the other previous board members' experienced to get us through some of those very challenging situations. And seeing as to where we are now today, I'm incredibly grateful for that guidance and the wisdom. And as some of my fellow board members have mentioned, when it comes to financial stuff, I just look straight to you. I'm thinking you've got your Superman cape on, so you're okay. We're okay. It's the time. But again, words isn't enough. And I think if a lot of the former and current students, could really understand and realize the sacrifices that you've given to this district, and they would be very grateful. So thank you, and look forward to seeing you around town. All right, that's on to Ms. Perman.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. The Relay for Life was mentioned, so I'll share that we received our presenting sponsor certificate that morning, so I'll pass it around for the board to look at. We received a very nice letter from a 40-year resident over on Brent Mead, who basically the summary of the letter is she had no idea how beautiful the stadium was. Once the mesh was removed, she said she and her husband now slow down and think of taking pictures to show their relatives that don't live around the area. So again, Tony, thank you. To real credit to you and what's been done over there at the high school for our community and for our kids. A very nice thank you letter to the board, to me and to me as well, thanking us from Karen Stewart for the clock that she received on her retirement, and said it reminds her each day of her home away from home and how much she valued her time in the Temple City School District. We also received an end of the year thanks with a cute photo from the Royal Court, thanking them for the privilege of attending the board meeting. The next week, Dr. Leshier, the new principal of Temple City High School, and myself will be attending a good portion of the ASB retreat with Jessica and her team, so we're looking forward to that. Bob, I'm not going to say too much more other than what's been said. I kind of blame you for my position in the district because I think I made a promise to the Ridleys a long time ago that I would stay long enough for the kids to finish Emperor. And they're both college graduates now. So I'll just add thank you. Thank you for your service to the board, to Emperor, and also, I don't like Bruins that much, but you and Tessie have changed my heart towards the Bruin Nation over the years, so thank you for the fun times as well, and I know we'll continue to see each other. And then lastly, in my comments, Mr. Gould, another Eagle, sent an email to me the other day and asked if he could share about his project. So that's why it's not under special presentation. So I'm giving up a little bit of my time to have Stephen come forward and share, because you know how we feel about Eagle Scouts.
Well, as Ms. Brady said, my name is Stephen Gould. I'm currently a junior at Temple City High School. Let's see, I got my Eagle Scout last month. I've been in scouting since I've been in first grade, and it's been a goal of mine ever since I joined. And I would not have been able to achieve that goal if I had not had a lot of help at my Eagle project, which as soon as it comes up, I can
I thought that was it, and I thought, wow, we should really get you on our facilities and maintenance crew, but that's incredible.
Well, I wish. Okay, so let's see, I did my Eagle project in September. My project, here we go. Representative. Excellent. So, my Eagle project was to turn that area of grass that I guess had a tendency to flood when it rained. My project was to turn that into a well-maintained brick patio. It was a very long project. It took longer than I had planned. It took 4 days to complete, often from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. It was very, very tedious, but very doable. First, we would have to dig out all of the grass that was there, and there was a live wire and other things that we had to figure out how to dig out. Then we had to figure out how to fit all of the bricks, which were already oddly shaped, into the even more oddly shaped area, which took a lot of math, which should help me next year. Let's see. I could not have done it without all of the help. I got much help from different members in the community, from scouts from my troop, and even from board member Mr. Marston, who was there for 3 days.
Is my cot still there?
He was there from often from when we started till by the time we ended. I just wanted to say thank you for helping me achieve my goal. That's all. I'd like to invite you all to my Eagle ceremony. It will be the 17th of September. It will be at the First United Methodist Church down the street. And, hope to see you all there.
Go on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, impressive. Thank you so much for sharing. Wouldn't expect anything less from a rule, I don't think so. I don't know. Okay, all right.
Just wanted to thank Principal Westgate. I know there's some relative connection there or something, but I noticed And Mr. Westgate and I talked a number of times about the project, so Bob, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the discussion information item portion of our board meeting. We have item 18 in Ed Services, a review of the Williams Complaints Quarterly Summary for April 1st through June 30th of 2016. And Dr. Franklin, looks
I'd
good.
like to report that there were no complaints filed regarding instructional materials, facilities, or teacher vacancy in Mississippi.
All right, thank you very much. Next, we have business services, and I think we've been anticipating this. We have a presentation from our director, Mr. Tony Alfano, regarding the progress of facilities and the other maintenance projects. Wonderful things that are happening throughout the district. Good evening, Mr. Alfano.
Hello. Members of the board, it is my pleasure to present to you tonight on behalf of Facility Services and Maintenance. So tonight I'll be covering our facility services and maintenance projects, or how to spend money, as Member Mullenberg let me know. Our department focus, improve visual appeal of all school sites. When I was interviewed for this position, I was asked what curb appeal means to me. And to me, it starts at the outside of the school and it goes in, but it's for a clean and safe and well-maintained environment for the staff and for the students. Preventative maintenance to extend the life cycle of equipment and facilities. Proper maintenance of district facilities and equipment. This is doing the job right the first time. Student, staff, and safety. That says enough right there. It needs to happen. And reduction of turnaround time on work orders. To me, they're put in for a reason, and it is our job in maintenance to do them in a timely manner. So the goal is to reduce the work orders and to have more preventative maintenance in the future. Site enhancement. New look to district landscaping. We've been working at the high school. The front of Cloverleaf is getting done at this present time. La Rosa has some new work being done over there, and as well as Longdon. Additional hardscape has been added to help reduce water in the drought times. The addition of trees and trimming of existing trees has been ongoing. Painting sites at the end of the bond project. Fencing replacement, as well as rain gutter replacement. We've had a lot of older rain gutters and it's done their time, so we're keep the water flowing in the right direction. At the DDSLC, we added new planters to add curb appeal to the site. We have a before and after photo. That was still you see the big pile of shredded bark up there, so it's still in the process, but it's grown in very nicely now, and we're still maintaining it. So, at the high school, we designed planted a beautifully landscaped area that had been previously covered in weeds at the north and east side of the stadium. And I want to let you know that this started with a work order that said it was from Superintendent Green to get rid of the weeds on the hillside. So this is what it evolved into. And you know, it has become a focal point out there, so now we have to really maintain it. So, but it came out pretty nice. It's nice and yellow flowers out there, so the gazanias are blooming.
I think I did say please.
I'd also like to add that all of that was designed and done by staff, so there weren't outside contractors brought in to do that. Tony designed all this and oversaw the implementation.
Student drop-off zones at Longden. This is the front side. We also, this will be continuing down after, we're going to be, the bond project will be doing some sidewalk demolition along that walkway, so we're not going to continue with the rest of it until that sidewalk is redone. But in the back area, along the back drive, has all been re-landscaped also, and trying to stay in front of this heat here, but it's burnt a few of the plants, so still looks good. Addition of trees at each site. Can't really see the ones on the left, but there's actually about 8 of them along there. To date, we've put in over 30 trees at all the sites, and I just ordered another 10 today that are going to be coming in on Friday that we're going to be getting out there. So, fencing upgrade. This fence was covered in ivy, way overgrown, and it made the fence topple over. So we hired somebody to come in, they got rid of all the ivy, and then we put up a new fence with security slats, since part of that is in the residents' backyard there, so we didn't want to be seeing any of that, and I'm sure they don't want to be, you know, it's kind of a privacy thing between, so.
This is an effort.
That was at Longden, yes. Other projects completed in 2016-17. At Longden also, there was a conversion of a storage room, which is now Nancy's office, the principal's office there. We had to add lighting, carpeting, painting. We cut a hole in the wall to add a window, so she didn't feel like she was in a little dungeon. We've planned and began purchasing new equipment to reduce cost in the district. We got a sewer jetter, which will pay for itself on first use. Concrete saw, which already has paid for itself. We bought 1 new truck so far, and a forklift for our facility yard, which gets used almost daily. At the baseball and softball fields, running a little behind on that, but so far we've leveled out the fields and reseeded. And then aeration and seeding of the fields at the high school and Oak. Actually, all the schools now have had their aeration done on all their fields, and we've reseeded on some of them. So those are now on a PM system, so they will be done every 4 months. And where they told me it hadn't been done in a few years now, so we hopefully keep the fields a little greener by doing this. Remodel of room 702, 705. Not really a lot to look at there, but we've gone in there. We had to tear down walls. We repainted everything. All the flooring is gone now, and they're going to start retiling on 705. They've already floated the floor, so it's supposed to be done by Friday. And then in 702, we're just going with a sealed floor. And those 2 rooms, there'll be night and day difference on them when we're complete with those. So unfortunately, I don't have that many after photos right now. So other projects in 2016-17, roof replacement at Cloverly is complete. La Rosa is well underway. Should be done sometime next week. Fencing replacement at Cloverly is all been done down Broadway, and we are waiting for asphalt to be done around the teachers' parking lot to finish the fence work there. We're beginning the implementation of a district-wide heat system. This will be done starting at Cloverly, and it's not only to It will streamline our key system, but it will also, it will go, so we will be in compliance with AB 211, which is a lockdown system in the classrooms, as well as ADA systems.
Well, we'll have a master key for each school or one?
We will
master?
have a grandmaster for one key will get into everything. Every school, every site, as this goes on. This will probably take 3 to 4 years to complete.
And then, and the locks will be universal locks? In the, I don't know. maybe-
It's the grandmaster will get into everything. All the cores of the locks will all be the same. We might have different manufacturers of lock handles, but the actual cores, they're interchangeable cores, and those will be the same.
And the keys
They will not be able to be duplicated. We'll have to buy them from the factory. We will be the only, we will have to order them, and we will, we'll have to go through a manufacturer to buy them through another sort,
So this should
Nobody can
increase
buy
our
them.
security at the school sites?
Yes. Asphalt replacement will be getting done at Oak and Cloverly this year. Painting projects, we've done numerous classrooms as well as offices, and we will be painting lunch shelter at the high school. Flooring for 10 classrooms is in progress right now at the high school, and will be down to the wire when it's done. At the softball field, we replaced all the wood on the backstop, as well as all the benches in both dugouts, and fabricated a helmet rack for them. The new reading garden area at La Rosa is, the brick is up. We're awaiting the top, the seat portion, so that we can finish up there. We can finish planting and irrigation and stuff after that. Installation of an exhaust system and garbage disposals in the kitchen at TCUSD. That's it's not home ec, but the proper name for
Food
it.
technology.
Food technology. It'll be a 9-day difference in there, I think, for them. So that finished up today as far as that job being done. So
This is the room across from 601.
Yes.
706. Other projects, new front entry at Cloverly is underway right now. I think it's going to be a 90-day difference out there. I think everybody will be happy once it's done. We were anticipating it to be all completed by the beginning of school. We're back. The baseball field and then the field north of baseball, the long jump, high jump, and pole vault approaches. We're redoing the entire baseball field with new sod. They're going to kill off everything. We're going to level it out even more off the infield. And then on the track areas, we're going to be putting a synthetic approaches on those. So I think the rubber mats out there have seen their days. So we're looking at modernizing the elevator. We're waiting for another quote, I believe, still, and hopefully we'll get that going so we can have both elevators working here at the office. Painting the lunch shelter, I said that at the high school, that should be starting this week. Preventative maintenance program was purchased and implemented. This software, it works right alongside with our school do work order system. So the PMs show up just like a work order, except they're in a different color. So if anybody's monitoring that, they will be in yellow. And in the future, we'll hope to see more yellow out there and less of the white work orders. So,
Can anybody view this? Can any teacher, if a teacher puts in a work request, can the teacher future then to go, or does it have to go to a secretary?
I-
Who then,
The secretaries have to input it, so I don't, I'm not sure if they have access.
We have one person identified at each building to be the conduit, otherwise work orders are getting in 3 and 4 times. So they have that, and then Tony's department keeps them up to date of when things will be finished. I'm gonna interrupt him a little bit further. When Tony joined the district, we had work orders that were as old as 18 months. And he's done amazing work, and there's really nothing on there more than 4 or 5 weeks old. And those are, that or something that we're planning to do at a different time. So it's been an amazing improvement of service to the sites.
I'll keep going. New ball walls were put up at La Rosa, right in the middle of the playground. So those will be ready for the kids. It's all finished. New wood chips in several of the playground areas for the little guys. And the installation of the new play structure at La Rosa. And that's right next to the reading garden that we're doing right now. In 17-18 and 18-19, a master schedule for roof repair, maintenance, and replacement has been developed. Asphalt replacement will be continuing. We'll be replacing rusted fencing throughout the sites, continue to standardize the key system at all sites, replace outdated lights, HID lights with LEDs. This has already started in a few locations. We've started doing some sample ones out there to see what will be the best for us. And continue replacement of carpet and tiles for areas not addressed by bond, and replacing more deteriorated rain gutters and downspouts. Anyone have any questions?
All right, I think that was very comprehensive, folks. Member Nolberg?
just one question, the projects for the future, those have been cost estimated or in the budget already or not?
Yes.
Okay.
They'll all be coming from deferred maintenance. We have estimates on all the roofing projects.
And the same with like the roofing and that?
Yes.
The study comes with cost,
Yes.
because there's no cost in this.
No.
And is there a contingency for emerging work or whatever term you use?
So this is an overall plan that we have,
Right.
and we're still working on the dollars. The roof is already in there in the plan for the next 2 years, and the rest we're still gathering information.
Because the roof's probably what, 50,000?
Oh, no, sir, 400,000 to 500,000 per site. That's why we can only
One
do it
visit
at a
on.
time.
But you're close.
Yeah, but I mean, that gives you an idea how important to have a budget for deferred maintenance of substantial amount of money, because for the last probably 5-6 years, we've been deferring a lot of
It's the roofing especially is probably the highest thing that I'll be dealing with. The asphalt is minimal compared to like what the roofing costs are, so.
All right, thank you. I think our student board member may have a comment. Did you have something that you wanted to share? Like excitement? Yay?
Cleaning the lunch shelter, really appreciate that.
It'll be done for you by school start.
That sounds exciting. And I want to add to that, that I know it's been maintained over the past decades, but that was the same lunch shelter that I used as well. So there's nostalgia for me.
I just want to thank you very much for the work you're doing, and Kathy, thank you for getting a lot of these projects rolling. These are the kinds of things that end up reflecting well on us, you know, and the amount of good comments I get compared to the amount of work I actually had to do. That's a good ratio for me. but seriously, I appreciate Superintendent Perini's places as a priority, and you know, for our staff and for our students to look around and feel good about the facilities also encourages them to help maintain it and not do things that would cause deterioration more quickly. So thanks for your work. Look forward to more.
Thank you.
Any other comments? No? Well, you know, Tony did an outstanding job there this evening. I just want to say that. That's okay.
Thank you.
You need to talk, but I want to thank you. The difference has been night and day. Not long ago, 4 years ago, as a parent, I was told that we didn't have funds to replace the wood chips in the playground, which is kind of humorous at this point. But in any case, all these things I've seen, some of it I've seen personally because I live close by the Cloverleaf and I see the progress every day. Not on purpose, but just I pass through there all the time. And as well as the high school and everywhere else. And we're very excited. We look forward to more of these things. Clearly, it's an extension of the image of us and the good work that we want to do as a district. And, you know, Ms. Perini is, you know, she would be like, if she did landscaping, she would probably be more profitable because she's incredible at this vision. So are you. So thank you very much for all your hard work and keep up the good work. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Alfano does not like to be complimented, so we're going to make him stand there for a few more seconds. I wanted to compliment him again publicly. I just say, make this look nice, and he just does it. And it's incredible. You have added so much value added to our district, Tony. It's really in the short time you've been here. Because a lot of the dollars, we're saving a lot of money because of his skill set and because of the way he motivates his team to work. As he shared, much of the work is being done internally, which is highly unusual for this district and the amount of money that we're saving. And then lastly, the other person who doesn't like to be complimented, Mr. Earl has done an incredible job working in tandem with Tony to ensure that the projects are moving forward and they're in constant dialogue about needs and meeting our shared goals as a school district and providing the types of campus offerings that we should have for our students and staff and bringing back the pride that we once all shared in the way our facilities look. So thank you to both of you.
All right, okay, let's go ahead and move on to the discussion and action agenda portion of our board meeting. First up is item number 20. Okay, all right, and sorry, hold on, excuse me. I would like to make an announcement of board member resignation. And can I get a motion? Is that correct? Get a motion. Okay. Discussion of filing a vacant seat on the Board of Education and adoption of resolution 1617-03 to establish a procedure for appointing a provisional board member. Can I get a motion for that?
Second.
Motion by member.
I'll make the,
Go ahead, you make the motion, I'll second.
Motion by member Pomeroy, second by member Nolenberg. Okay, and I would like to make a formal announcement that board member Bob Ridley submitted his resignation effective on July 19th. There's some information here regarding that on the agenda documents. And as much as I have read this over as well, I think I would feel much more comfortable letting Superintendent Perini share a little bit more information about this process.
Thank you, President Bell. The timeline, we're under a 60-day timeline as a provisional appointment should the board adopt the resolution this evening. Once the board makes their decision, the timeline begins in determining the processes. We would as soon as tomorrow do a public posting seeking candidates for the position. Following that, there is an application process as well as a questionnaire that interested applicants would fill out and submit to my office. And then the intent is on August 17th that we would then have the applicants come as potential candidates and have the board have an opportunity to address a few questions to them in support of their paperwork and then make a determination that night for an appointment to the board. Should we not take this action, then what happens is the LACO, the LA County Office of Education, then orders a special election in order to fill the seat. The seat is for up until the 2017 board election, which at that time, should the candidate run and be selected, it would be for an additional 2 years, which would take it to 2019. So that's kind of a short snapshot of what we've worked on over the last few days since Mr. Ridley submitted his resignation. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. So, so I understand it, so the options, either doing a provisional appointment or having a special election, I think, I mean, those are the two options that are technically available to us. I very much appreciate the resolution. I'm in favor of the resolution. But just to help explain to our public what our possibilities are, if we were, for example, to have a special election, then I assume that the cost of that would be
$125,000.
under 25. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of money. And then as far as the timing of the provisional appointment, so 60 days from the date that resignation was effective, July 19th, so that would put us 60 days after that in the middle of September as far as like the absolute sort of drop dead time, so to speak. Maybe that's a bad choice of words, to make the appointment. Is that right?
That's correct.
Right, so I mean, as far as the timing goes, what I appreciate about this resolution, among other things, is that it does set up a procedure, as you described, Superintendent Perini, when we would ask for applications to come in, and hopefully we would be able to decide at the next regular board meeting on the 17th. The resolution allows that if you're not able to decide at that time, we would do it at such other time as we designate. And so I think it's a John Wooden quote. Am I the only one left who's going to quote John Wooden?
I like John.
You like John Wooden? Okay.
Another Bruin that I like.
The Bruins have been dropping like flies, so I encourage the potential applicants to make it known if they went to UCLA. But that I think it's be quick but don't hurry. Does that sound right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So which is what we want to do. I mean, well, I have a couple other things I might say, but this presents a real challenge for us as board members because really the only time we can talk about this is right now in front of everybody, and we get our practice in having uncomfortable decisions in public, uncomfortable discussions in public, but that's what we have to do because it's just really not, we can't be talking about this stuff outside the meeting. But I encourage my 3 board members to be open and honest about how you feel about the process. If there's anything in here that you question or wonder why we're doing it, let's talk about it now, and so that we and everybody understands why we're doing this. It's a very prescribed process in the law and in our board policies that we have to follow.
That is correct. Excellent point. Does anybody have any comments regarding this? Again, very comfortable about this.
Again, our administration has really spelled this out quite easily for us to follow. It makes sense. It's physically responsible of us to, do this appointment, not an election. So the only thing I'm not clear on is when the 20-day, 60-day starts, because it's either the 19th or 20th, which...
It's that once you accept the resignation and the resolution takes effect, it starts immediately.
So we accept
about
the
tonight?
resignation.
Tonight,
60
yes.
days from tonight
Yes.
is our deadline.
I don't think that's, I'm sorry, I don't think that's quite right.
From the resignation date of the 19th. So if you accept it tonight, we cannot do anything. If you say, for example, the board didn't accept the resolution tonight,
Right.
then we would have to start the process again, which then puts us past the 60-day window. So I don't think I made myself clear. It starts on the 19th, but we couldn't do anything on the 20th because we did not have a board meeting in order for the board to discuss their desires.
Right, and so the 60-day period started running when the resignation.
Correct.
And he had the option of saying, I'm resigning, but I'm gonna make it effective in the future, and he didn't. He said, listen, immediately. And this procedure, basically, the deadline for the applications is to make sure that it's on the agenda and the candidates are listed on the agenda for the next meeting.
Right, and we are following Ed Code as well as the recommendations from LACO, as well as the recommendations from our legal counsel.
Just one other follow-up question. The resolution references that that our superintendent will review the applications to determine if the applicants are eligible. I believe that's the term. And there are some legal requirements for how to be eligible, which all of us had to meet. You have to be 18, you have to be citizen, you have to be a resident of the school district, you have to be a registered voter, and you can't be sworn in as a board member if you're an employee of the district. So so it appears to me then that with this resolution, basically the superintendent and her office would be reviewing each application just to sort of check each of those things off. If a person is not eligible for whatever reason, then it wouldn't come to us. But otherwise, all of the candidates that apply would come to us and be put on the meeting with us.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Member Dolman?
I think we should just re-emphasize where the people get their application and when they're due back. So then you can just emphasize that there's a due date.
Yes.
To be back by a certain date.
Again, if the resolution is adopted tonight, then all of that becomes public, including the timeline that will be tomorrow involves a two-part. One, a public notice that we have prepared announcing the vacancy. The second part of that is a press release thanking Mr. Ridley for his service, and the timeline attached to that as well.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's pretty clear cut. So if there are no other comments or questions, shall we go ahead and vote on this item?
We have to, by roll.
Roll call, right. Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Marston?
Yes.
Mr. Hillenberg?
Yes.
And Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
All right. Excellent. And we are past that. Okay, next, let's move on to Ed Services, item 21. I'll make a motion to approve the revised West St. Gabriel Valley Special Education Local Plan Area, called SELPA, a little while ago. Can I get a second, please? Second by Member Marston. Is there any questions or comments regarding this item?
I just have a quick question. So I see that it's a revision that obviously involve all the districts in the SELPA. Maybe you could just briefly, for our public, indicate how this current version of the plan came about.
We're one of 14-member school district. I attend SELPA meetings each month with other superintendents. In addition to that, our finance department attends the financial part of SELPA. Dr. Marietti attends the director part of SELPA. And all of those areas come together to ensure we have a SELPA director who indicates to us to ensure that all of our plans stay within the law. So there is an overarching plan for all school districts, much like our regular plan. And in review, the director noted that a portion of our SELPA for our districts had not been updated. So basically, this is a bylaw change that was recommended by the SELPA. We reviewed it as superintendents, voted on it, and so the procedural part now is that our board, it's much like when you accept the local education plan. This is just on a broader scale. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Member Older.
Are we subject to any budget requirements for this? Because Alhambra's going to do the administration.
Right, correct. Alhambra has the largest part of the SELPA, and so that again is an agreement. We pay a portion that's part of our budget. All districts There's also an advantage in that we share students, because if we were, say for example, we weren't part of the CELPA, then every part that we offer in education of our students with special needs, we would have to provide individually as a district.
All right, that's pretty good. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay, let's go ahead and vote.
Just
Oh,
one
okay.
other. This contract really only covers special needs, or not? Or does it,
This is our special education local plan.
okay, so when like, what's the one we do it globally for the?
The school site plan. Or-
Isn't there one for hearing or eyeloss or something?
That's
Lab?
completely separate. That's provided to the students as a service for all students as required by law. Health
I thought we had
screening.
other schools that send students to that. Similar-
Well, it's separate. It's completely separate from this. This completely functions within our students with exceptional and special needs.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so are we ready to go ahead and vote on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. Next, we have item 22. Can I get a motion to approve the Pasadena City College and Temple City Unified School District dual enrollment agreement?
First,
I'll make the motion.
Motion by member Pomeroy, second by member Nolbert. Okay, all right. Are there any questions regarding this? As I recall, we had a public hearing about this at our previous board meeting, so now it looks like we are approving what has been discussed at the last point. Mr. Harrington, I don't believe that there's anything that's, yeah, we're right on track.
Yeah, so there, you'll notice two changes from the last meeting. One is the date, effective date is September 22nd, and that's to ensure that PCC has both of their board meetings before they can approve. And then the second one was the insurance, naming the college, allowing the district and providing insurance for the district for the employees as well.
this only applies to a couple of classes?
That's correct. Two classes currently.
Two at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Member Pomeroy, becoming second.
Okay, two right now, but it could be more.
Absolutely.
Over the length of the.
That's correct.
Good. Well, again, I want to thank you, Mr. Harrington, for your work in this area, and Superintendent Green for making this a priority.
Okay, all right. Okay, and I want to, again, echo member Pomeroy's comments. Thank you for everybody's hard work. I think the kids are going to benefit from having these types of experience more and more, so I'm really excited about this. Okay, all right. If there's nothing else, let's go ahead and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Carried. All right, next we have item number 23. I will make a motion to approve the submission of the consolidated application for federal categorical programs. May I get a second, please? Second by member Nolbert. Mr. Fancy.
Great, just wanted to give you an overview that we need board approval in order to participate in categorical funding. We are now at the federal funding level that we're talking about, so that would be Title I, Title II, Title III. And so we have 2 submissions per year, but each year we need annual approval from our board. And so we're asking for that approval tonight to continue our participation in these programs. As you recall, Title I monies come into our district. They're allocated to our sites for serving underachieving students, students who are not making grade level standards. Title II is for teacher quality, where we can provide professional development. Title III deals with our limited English proficient students. And then we also have a Title III immigrant money for students who are new to the country 3 years or less in public school. And so with that, we have certain assurances that we have to agree to in our submittal of our application. And the winter submission then deals with Title II and Title III monies, and it has a little slightly different report. These reports are more of the expenditure side. How did we spend the money over 27 months, for example? And then we have to indicate the number of students and pupils that are participating in these programs, as well as the entitlements for each program. And so this captures what happened this year in 2015-16, or I should say this past school year. So we have received so much money in each of these categories. And again, we have to assure the state that we are using the monies correctly through the submittal of the consolidated application. And so with that, we ask for your approval and let you know that we also had shared this information with our PAC, DAC, DLAC committees, and we had 5 meetings throughout the year, and in June, the chair and the ELD representative signatures certified that we had discussed this and that they agreed that we continue to annually participate in these programs.
Thank you very much for that explanation. Member Nolan?
Just a question on the funding levels. Is the past performance an indication of the future performance? Are these guaranteed, like the 810,000 will get the same amount next year, the year after, or are these always at the
No.
discretion of the federal government?
Correct, it's at the discretion of the federal government, and so sometimes there's a reduction in certain years, and in other times we see a little bit of an increase. We usually do not receive those entitlements until October, and sometimes as late as January of the current year.
So it's a cash flow issue for us? If we don't get the money, up front, right? So
It's not a cash flow issue for us. We're pretty solid. The federal government does its budgeting in October, and that's when we do our budget, back in May. We don't know, we make our best estimates. And as Kate mentioned, there are reductions. Last year we had a reduction. They're not usually large, a few percent, and occasionally we get a little bit more, but we won't know until October. And then the cash doesn't actually come until January.
All right. Okay. Any other questions or comments? We're ready to vote on this? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion carried. Okay, next, may I get a motion to approve opening the public hearing on educator effectiveness block grant? Moved by Member Marston, second by Member Nolberg. Okay. All right, so here we go.
So thank you so much. Tonight we have our public hearing with our anticipated adoption date. Oh,
Do we need to vote to open it?
You know what, I believe that you're right. I'm sorry. We do have to vote on that. So, let me backtrack, I apologize. Okay. All in favor? Aye, okay. And thanks for catching me on that. Public hearing is now open at 8:15.
okay, thank you. So tonight we have our public hearing with our anticipated adoption date set for our next board meeting, which is August 17th. And so after much discussion and looking at the alignment with our district vision in providing 21st century learning environments and increasing student engagement as one of our 8 priorities as identified in the LCAP, our educator effectiveness plan focuses on the 4th criteria that is known as educator quality effectiveness. So we propose partnering with Code to the Future, who will provide weekly job-embedded coaching in our classrooms. This will enhance and develop staff and student capacity in computer science. And if we break it down into thirds, the first professional development stance would be on Scratch, the second would be robotics, and the third would be coding, which would include the 5th and 6th grade students learning Java. This also will be aligned to the district's STEAM initiatives and in creating a 21st century learning environment in which competency-based demonstration of learning will lead to epic builds. There is flexibility within the plan within the 3 years, meaning that we have 3 years to spend this allocation of $425,736. And then at the end of the 3rd year, we will have a detailed expenditure report that will need to be submitted to the California Department of Education. And so we hope to use this plan based on Code to the Future professional development in the amount of $425,000 plus. Again, we have 3 years to spend the money, and right now we are in year 2 of the cycle of this grant.
That's very good. Any questions or comments? Okay,
So we've already received the grant? And now this is the plan to spend the money,
Yes.
and basically we're gonna hire a third party to do most of the work.
They'll be working with our teachers and coming in and training us, yes.
Yeah, and I think, yes, I understand that very clearly, that we're going to be bringing in professionals to help our staff become more in tune with the modern age, and not modern age, but I would say the future needs of our students and some of the skills that they may be required to have. So, and I think this is beneficial for everyone, our staff, our community, particularly, of course, our students, which is our focus. So I'm really excited to see this.
And as Dr. Franciscini indicated, the intent of this is to build capacity and educator effectiveness. So it's a perfect match for us on so many levels. Coding, especially now for students in the future, is becoming very much an integral part of the learning that's occurring across all the content areas.
I'm just going to ask her, what, Member Marshall?
As far as the coaching goes, are the Code of the Future individuals going to go into the classrooms and work with teachers there as they're presenting their curriculum and merge it into their curriculum and show them how to do it, or are they going to be sitting in a boardroom here, looking at slides? Can you go over some of that?
Yeah, you asked a very good question, thank you. So it's two-part answer. There is some professional development that will be outside of the classroom. And then once school starts, we will set a start date with Code to the Future, and they will have job-embedded weekly experiences coming into our classrooms starting at our elementary sites and building capacity with our teachers and with our students.
So are we talking like one coach per classroom, or a coach per grade level? Maybe these logistics haven't been thought
Yes,
of.
I do not have those details in front of me, but I know that the company is very much in tune to our needs, and we're fleshing out those details as we speak, and we'll come back to you with a contract.
The intent of the embedded coaching is to offer much like a small group instruction model for the teaching teams. In addition to that, the students are going to be learning right alongside them. So part of what our intent is going forward is for the older students then would become coaches for the younger students as well. So we're building capacity really across all levels, and part of what we've talked to Code of the Future individuals about is, and they believe that the ratio has to be small in order for teachers to have good acquisition of knowledge.
And what about training or coaching with the technology tools? How to teach with the laptop, or how to teach via the laptop and the Eno boards? Will that type of issue be covered too with coaching?
Along the lines of the topics that deal with coding, that deal with Lego EV3s, that deal with other robotic emphasis, and deals with Scratch. So we're going to start with Scratch and make sure that everyone understands that concept and that we can have the application within our classrooms.
Okay. All right, Member Nolan?
Yeah. Will this be integrated into the lesson plan so they become, so when they get through with the 3 years, that this is now part of a lessons plan for the classroom itself?
That's the intent, as well as to create these blended learning models in our classroom, in which if the teacher needed to work with a small group of students for intervention, then other students can work in a blended learning environment on their computer, and it'll be self-directed.
All right, very good. Okay. There are no other comments or questions? Oh, in the public, I apologize. Does the public at large have any questions regarding this program that we're anticipating to have? No? All right, thank you for reminding me.
I'll make a motion, we close
Oh,
the public.
sorry.
Does that go to the hardware and everything too, or is that just with the coaching? So we have all the hardware kind of in place, or is it gonna be a shuffle of computers and teachers to classes with the computers? Is that a fair question?
So, yes, thank you for asking that, Mr. Leonard, I appreciate that. This grant is focused on the professional development side of the house. And so if there needs to be any additional computers that need to be purchased, that would come from a different funding source. But at this time, we feel as if that we have a good roadmap ready to launch this in the fall.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, are we ready to,
I'll make a motion to close public
okay,
hearing.
all right, okay. Member Noldberg makes a motion to close the public hearing at 8:23. Second by Member Pomeroy. All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much. Okay, next we have item number 26. I will make a motion to approve the purchase of a new Cisco Firepower firewall and threat defense system in the amount of $175,066 from Resilient Communications. May I get a second, please?
Second.
Second by Member Nollenberg. Mr. Harper, good evening. How are you?
Good, thank you.
All right. Just wondering, maybe you want to give us a very quick, brief overview, although the words speak for themselves for me anyway. So, but let's go ahead and that's good.
They do. So we have a little bit about what's going on. So our 10 gig wide area network, which is the connection from the schools to the district office, already underway. The cabling that's going to replace the fiber and run 2 connections to every indoor and outdoor access point started today at Oak. So what is all that? That's all 10 gig. 20 gig between buildings, 10 gig, 10 gig. Coming to the district office to switches we've already purchased that support that 10 gig. But then when it needs to get to the internet, it needs to go through the firewall. And that firewall needs to protect us. That firewall right now is a 1 gig firewall, which doesn't lend itself too much to growing with us into the future. So this new firepower Cisco firewall can support over 10 gig in a redundant fashion, meaning you have 2 of them that are both running. So are we getting the best price? That is an absolute understatement. The original quote was for 1 firewall, and I knew it was their year end. Cisco's year end is the end of this month, so I said, here's what I want. I want 2 firewalls, both running at the same time. I want 3 years of licensing and support. Oh, and make the price low enough that I can still fit professional services into my budget. They said, okay, I think we can do that, and that's what we have tonight. Is they came back with that still under budget, but now with redundancy, and active redundancy, meaning they both run at the same time. So they give us performance plus redundancy. So a very good solution that will grow, and the fact that it can support over 10 gig means we're pushing that out probably into 5, 7, 10 years, and that's still going to be a usable firewall for us. Like I said, 3 years now, which I think you've starting to see the theme. Wireless 5 years, virtualization 3 years, the switches 5 years, now the firewall 3 years. What is that going to do? That's going to allow us to quickly go from building the network to utilizing the network, because we don't have any additional costs in year 2, year 3, and for 2 systems, year 4 and year 5.
That's excellent. I want to commend you, Mr. Harper, on your incredible planning, attention to detail, and I know the geek side of me is always very excited when it comes to hardware and software. I will admit that will be the first one. You had me at 10 gigs. Told you that 6 months ago. In any case, I'm really excited to look forward to this and more of the build and being able to utilize our systems throughout the district. So, are there any comments or questions? No? Okay. All right. Okay. Never mind.
These wireless access points that are new in this firewall, when will that all be in place and being used by students?
We are going to follow the cabling that just got underway at Oak today. We will follow the cabling with the access points. So as soon as they finish the building, we'll put the access points up in that building inside So as fast as they can wire these campuses will be as fast as we can install the access points. We will get as many of the schools done as possible in these last several weeks of the summer. What will happen once school starts is that we'll shift from a 7:30 to 4:30 crew to a 3 o'clock to 11 o'clock crew. So we'll still do it, but be doing it after school hours. So,
But will the classrooms still have internet access?
yeah, the
Site
classroom,
internet access?
we will only replace the existing wireless when the new wiring is in place. So we're not gonna demo everything and then, okay, as we finish the classroom, you have wireless. No, the existing wireless will still be there. It'll just get better when we replace it.
Well, I have to say, I'm so appreciative of, the experts that we have, you being one of them, in our district. It just makes life so much easier for us on the board, and, like Mr. Palmer said earlier, we kind of get the credit for it. Well, we don't do much of the work, but we do advocate where the credit should go, and I sleep very well at night, or much better at night, knowing that, you particularly are just on top of the enhancements we need, and understand the growth that we have to go through network-wise and computer-wise to give our students what they need for them to grow in technology. So I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, okay. Now, we're all ready to vote, shall we? All in favor? Aye. Okay, 4-0, motion carried. Thank you very much, Mr. Harper, for your time this evening. Next, I will make a motion to approve opening the public hearing on the 2016-2017 Education Protection Account Spending Plan. May I get a second? Okay, second by Member Nollenberg, and this time around, we have to vote first. And let's say all in favor? Aye, okay. Public hearing is now open at 8:29. Okay. Are there any questions or comments regarding this, both to my fellow board members as well as the public at large? Maybe a little explanation of some kind, is that necessary?
I'm sorry.
Just a very quick, simple.
Sure. So in 2012, the voters decided to add a sales tax, which sounds great. You get a little bit of extra money, but I'll remind everyone that what they do is they take whatever comes from the EPA sales tax, they take that out of your LCFF funding. So it's a net zero change for us, but we still have to come each year and have a public hearing about how we spend that money. And we have on the second page behind our agenda report how that money is going to be spent. It's primarily for salaries. We cannot use it for administration, so it's for certificated classified non-management staff.
Very good. Member Nolan?
Just to point out, the copy of this should be in the back table
Yes,
for anybody who hasn't seen it on
Yes.
the website.
yes. And depending how the next, votes go, this may extend, it may not, we don't know right yet.
When you say next votes, that's about 30, or the equivalent of 50?
If they decide to extend it.
Okay.
All right, okay. If there are no other,
Is that election this coming November?
It should be on the November ballot,
Yeah.
yes.
57.
I'm not sure.
okay. Member Palmer?
Sorry?
I believe
55?
55?
I believe that was only to extend the income tax, however. Is there a separate proposal to extend the sales tax? I think the sales tax will expire.
I think it sunsets at some point, right?
Yes, I believe that after this year.
And we have adjusted the budget in future years to exclude that extra sales tax.
Okay.
But it's a net zero.
Okay, all right. If there are no other questions or comments, I'll make a motion to approve closing the public hearing on the 2016-2017 Education Protection Account Spending Plan. May I get a second?
Second.
Second by Member Nollenberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. Okay, now, we're going to move on to the C portion of this, I guess. I will make a motion to approve the 2016-2017 Education Protection Account Spending Plan. May I get a second? Second by member Nolenberg. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Carried. Okay, next, we have item number 30. May I get a motion to adopt resolution 1617-01, requesting the Board of Supervisors of the County of Los Angeles establish the tax rate for bonds of Temple City Unified School District expected to be sold during the fiscal year of 2016, 2017, and authorizing necessary actions in connection therewith. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg. Okay. Do we have any questions or discussions? This is in relation to the bond sale that's coming up. That is correct.
Right, this is for the
Okay.
next bond issuance, which right now we're estimating the next issuance will be about 32 million.
32 months. Okay. Going to the projects that are going on. Member
And-
Palmer.
And the timing of that is the fall of this year?
Yes.
That's what we're expecting.
Yes.
And so we need to do this in order to make sure that we can sell a series of bonds this fiscal
Absolutely.
year. Yeah. Thank you. I don't have no further questions.
All right. Okay. Member Nolenberg.
Will this come back to us when you get down to the actual makeup of the different types of bonds?
Yes, this is to ask the tax assessor to put the calculations together. We'll come back separately with what each of the issuances will look like.
And did the property values go up substantially?
We'll find that, we'll get that report mid-August.
Okay.
I'm expecting yes, but we don't have the report quite yet.
That's true. Okay. Very good. Okay. If there are no other further comments or questions, we ready to vote on this item? Yes. Okay. I think this is a roll call vote. So, Ms. Chen, I think we're ready.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Nolenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Marston?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Motion carried. Next, we have item number 31. I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 1617-02, and that's to establish temporary interfund transfers of special or restricted fund money. May I get a second, please?
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg. Okay, let's look at that. And again, this is just something that, we do normally throughout the course of the entire school year as we shift funds as needed, correct?
This is an annual requirement from LACO, so if we became in a position that we needed to take money from one fund to another, we could do that. I don't see any need to do that. We have not done that in the past 4 years, but it's a LACO requirement in case the need would arise.
Okay. Excellent. All right, so if there are no questions or comments, I believe this is also a roll call vote, so we are ready.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Nolenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Marston?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
All right, excellent, motion carried. Okay, next, I will have to explain this to my daughter. I'm just kidding. This is again a great deal. Okay, may I get a motion to approve increasing paid meal prices by 25 cents at all school sites?
I'm so moved.
Moved by member Nolenberg. I see the hand tapping, so second by member Pomeroy. Okay. Are there any questions regarding this item?
Question.
Okay, member Pomeroy.
So basically, this is to get us more closer to in line or back to correspond what we're charging for the meals with what we receive for the meals.
Right, in general terms, one of the issues that we have is the federal government gives us a certain amount of money for the free and reduced lunch. If we charge the paying students less than what the federal government is giving us, that means we would have to take money from the general fund to support that. Otherwise, we're asking the federal government to pay for the paying students in general terms. And I'll introduce the board to Mrs. Amos. She's in the audience tonight. She's a consultant that's been working with us in food services. So if you have more specific questions, she's very happy to answer those.
Let's come up with some more specific questions.
I'm thinking right there.
Does it affect how much we'll receive in the future as far as the dollars from the federal government?
No, it does not. There's reauthorization every 4 years, and the federal government reauthorizes the National School Lunch Program. And 5 years ago, because they didn't vote on it last year, they're pushing it to next year to do reauthorization. They started this paid lunch equity. And that means that they don't want the free and reduced meals to cover the paid meals. A lot of districts were charging like $1 for paid meals. Well, we all know that you can't put a meal out there for $1. So the money that the government was giving to the programs were offsetting that paid lunch meal. So this stops it from happening. And you only have to raise it a dime, that's the requirement. However, it's very difficult to work with dimes. It slows the line down for the students, and it's hard for the cashiers to make change with dimes. And then you have to have a change to make, so usually I recommend that you go quarters. So hopefully we won't have to do it for another couple of years. We don't know what the increase will be next year for the national school lunches. Usually it's a COLA increase, sometimes it's more than that. So the federal government said they have been very generous to the national school lunch program, though, giving increases every year. So.
All right. Excellent. That was a very good question. Member Pomeroy, you got a lot of good explanation there. Okay. All right, Marian.
And I also add, the district is very fortunate to have Mrs. Amos consulting with us. She's doing a thorough review of all of our offerings for all the sites, and you'll see a nice improvement for the students in the fall. Everything will be within federal compliance, but also some very tasty additions will be coming out for the students. So we're looking for that. She's been very helpful orchestrating that.
Pressure's on, right?
Well, we thank you for your hard work on our behalf.
Took care of all my good questions.
Yeah, there you go, right? Okay. All right, so are we ready to go ahead and vote on this item? All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carried. Okay. Next, we're moving on to the administration side of things. Item number 33. I'll make a motion to receive for second reading and approve revised board policies, BP 6146.1 and BP 6152. May I get a second, please? Second by Member Marston. All right. I think we have seen this before, and unless there are any major changes, which there isn't. We'll go ready and go ahead and vote on this item. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carried. Okay, next, may I get a motion to receive board bylaw and board policies for first reading?
So,
Right, moved by Member Goldberg. May I get a second, please?
Second.
Second by Member Marston. Okay, so here we are. There's quite a few things on here. And again, just as a comment, most of the time when we change these bylaws, it's in to comply with CSBA recommendations. Right.
Correct.
And again, I think I've asked this before, CSBA is the one who's making all these changes? Or any of
recommending.
Right, recommended changes. These aren't changes that will be done by the administration?
They make the recommendations. We look at it in comparison to our current board policies and make sure that they're in line with district goals and direction. Typically, we'll accept most of their recommendations because that also helps us not only stay current, but also stay within the law.
Thank you.
Okay, excellent. All right, if there are no other questions or comments, let's go ahead and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay, motion carried. All right. Okay, now we move on to the consent agenda portion of our board meeting. Items approved by one motion and one vote unless a member of the board or audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. Do we have anything now? Okay. All right. So, do we have any comments and questions regarding consent agenda items?
I have a comment.
All right, absolutely. Member Palmer.
I just want to say welcome to our new teachers, our new staff.
Seeing on the video. Yes. You will be hopefully watching us on YouTube because we are that exciting. And but anyway, yes, welcome. We look forward to meeting you very soon. But other than that, are we ready to?
Well, our new webmaster and public information officer, I believe, is on the classified consent agenda. So welcome to her. I have the privilege of being part of the selection panel that went through the applicants for that new position, and she just blew everyone's socks off. She will really bring a big dynamic well, I guess, change to our website content, social media, and just the public's view of what the district stands for and what we're getting accomplished and what the students are obviously accomplishing.
Excellent, no, that's a good comment. Now, as to say, I was on that panel, and much like the hardware and the software thing, she had me in HTML5 and the entire Adobe Creative Suite, so I'm excited to see her work. Okay, all right, so if there are no other questions, let's go ahead and vote on this. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh, hold on.
Did we have a motion?
We did, yeah. I think
So
so.
make a motion?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, all right, perfect, 4-0, excellent, okay, all right.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, so next item up is item 41. Do we have any board requests or comments? Member Noller?
Just for the future, there's supposed to be some impact with the power outages or something, whether it has any impact on our classrooms or not. Do we have a schedule, and are we prepared for the energy outages that are coming up for Temple City? There's supposed to be 14 of them, I think,
So this is
next year. Just more general information.
request for information, correct?
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll note it. Okay,
I got a couple things.
okay, a couple things, okay. Member Marson?
I was on the website looking for meeting minutes for the Citizens Oversight Committee, and there were some meetings where there was no minutes. Where can I get copies of that?
Citizens oversight, sir?
Yeah,
I'll get those for you.
particularly the meetings that are listed as meeting number 9, number 10, and number 11. There's no minutes. I just wanted to go over so I could be up to date of what they're doing. And then in November, or meeting number 8, this the special meeting, which was a facilities site tour. I don't know if that requires minutes or not, but it wasn't there. And then at some point in time, I would like the opportunity for us as a board to discuss the possibilities of keeping our libraries open during the summer. We've got 6 libraries and thousands of kids that need someplace to go during the day, and it just makes sense to me that we could be able to provide something, so we're not just going to one library here in the city. It'll take time. I know it's logistically involved, but if we start talking about it now, we can start taking the steps, for maybe next summer or something. But that's it.
All right, all noted. Okay. Now, if there are no other items, we're going to go ahead and go to item number 43. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:45. May I get a second, please?
Second.
Second by Member Nollenberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much, everyone. Meeting adjourned.